Was happening, good people? It is Kody Plain and Simple, and this particular video is dedicated to a very good friend of mine. Um, I actually had intentions on talking about this in more detail later on, but no time like the present. So here's the thing. Um, it goes for caregivers as well as the special needs person who needs them. It can be tough. Lord knows it can be tough. Lord knows it can be special. I said at the very beginning of all this that my own personal beliefs do come into play in these, and this is one of those moments. Um, Faith. I understand that some people, um, you know, don't really agree or go with that, and that's fine. That's your prerogative. But if you are a Christian, if you are a person of faith, there's a lot of biblical principles that you could lean on that help you survive, make it through things, and might can help with understanding. We're not going to understand the why of everything when it comes to God. Okay, if you're a Christian, you probably know that already. But from what I have been taught, number one is not that God does something to you, but there is such a thing as God allowing something to happen. Some people won't understand the difference between the two, but let's put it like this. There's me pushing you in front of a train, and then there's you standing on a train track, but I just don't yank you off. You're like, oh, well, why wouldn't you yank me off? Am I obligated to? If you're standing there and your foot isn't stuck, but you're just standing in front of that train and you don't move, is that on me or is that on you? And you've got plenty of time to move and you don't, so that's the difference between causing something and allowing something. But even if God doesn't take you out of a situation, you can be and you would be given grace to go through it. That's the thing for caregivers. My mother's a caregiver, not only to me, but she has been for my grandmother as well, until eventually it got to be too much and we had to put her in a home, not just for my mom's own health and sanity, but for safety reasons. It was definitely getting to be a situation where my grandmother was a very real potential of her hurting herself. Actually, she had hurt herself. But anyway, hurting herself, and she was definitely a threat to us as well. So, but thankfully, that's been taken care of. She's in a good place. And I know for everybody it may not always be that easy or that simple, but don't misunderstand. It wasn't easy or simple for us either. But caregivers are very, very special. Just because you're anointed to do something doesn't mean that it's easy to do. For my friend who this is specifically for, I hope you look at some of the previous videos I've done, particularly the one where people say stuff without thinking. And it doesn't matter. It seems like if you have any sort of special situation that's blatantly and visibly obvious, people just say some of the craziest things. And it may be hard, but don't internalize it. Don't identify with it. If you're not a size 2, if you've been through some things, if you've had to catch a meal whenever you can for whatever reason, don't let that bother you. And I know that's easier said than done, but you were given an anointing, something special about you to help you endure and go through what it is you're going through. You are human, you will need help, you will need breaks, but that's when believing that our Father in heaven has already put things in place. And no matter what happens in the world around you, still having faith and believing that He's already made provisions. When I got ready to start doing these videos, I honestly, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I didn't want to. But my desire to be obedient towards God was greater than my uh, desire to do what I wanted to do. And I've done that for many, many years, what I wanted to do, to mixed results. But let's look at it like this. Life is going to hand you some bull sometimes. Everything can't be put on God. Everything can't be put on the devil. Because sometimes, with a little prayer and a little faith and a little belief, you can take that crap and turn it into fertilizer and make something beautiful come from it. Sometimes you might want to pause and instead of looking at what you don't have or aren't able to do, look at what you do still have available and what it is you can still do. I constantly have to remind myself of that. It sucks not being able to walk through a store. I'm so used to looking at people eye to waist level that when I stand up and do look people face to face out in public, I'm like, whoa, forgot what that was like. Um, it's a lot of different weird subtleties and nuances that go on with each situation, but keep hope, keep faith. This planet, this world, naysayers, non-believers, they will tell you and say some of everything to get your faith shaken. But video gamer logic here, if the challenges get greater as you go, you're probably going in the right direction. And if you keep going in this direction, it's not always going to be hard. If you're rolling with Christ, then there's rewards. There's rewards. Uh, and then there's also little miracles every day. So I'm not one of those people where I'm going to sit up here and, excuse my French, but piss on your head and then tell you it's raining. But I can say from having gone through stuff myself and having watched my mother go through stuff with myself and my grandmother, when you get those moments in the sunshine and the clouds break, it is that much sweeter. Hold on, keep your faith, keep your trust in God, and carry on. And just know that you're not alone in this. Please know that you're not alone. All right, I'm Kody M, and that's news to me.